then on top of that, obviously Steve Bannon. I mean, you know what? He's taken the Bush strategy of 2000, where he's lost by even more votes, and like turned it up to 11. He's putting not even just conservative.
Do you think there's even
Republicans
strategy involved in this? I mean,
I'm not sure there is, but even if there's not strategy, it's sort of then the Trump way of
I think it's
doing
tactics.
anything, which
It's
is
just tactics.
flying by the seat of his pants and not giving a damn what anybody else besides he thinks. So he's now put forward a guy who speaks for white nationalists in Bannon, a guy who was rejected by a Republican Judiciary Committee because he was a racist, and a guy who was fired from the DIA partially for being an Islamophobe and a misogynist, among other things. That's it. The Democrats literally en masse should oppose everything this guy does at this point. That is my position, that they should neither accept his legitimacy nor anything he offers, and oppose him from day one and do the exact same tactics the Republicans did with President Obama, the difference being that they're not just doing it because the president happens to be black and a Democrat. They're doing it because he's fully earned it. He had a very small window, to me, to come in and prove that he was going to disavow some of the crap that he'd said during the campaign, realize that he'd lost, and none of that's happened. So.
Let's get a little even more specific than this, because I'm not sure where, so when you hear this, are you talking, when you hear the statements of Bernie Sanders and others, and I think Schumer has echoed these statements in some level, which is like, we'll work on them on the stuff that we agree on. You don't even want to hear those statements.
Not anymore, no.
And
absolutely not. What you're doing when you do that is then you're saying it's okay for this guy to make Jeff Sessions AG. It's okay for him to make Steve Bannon his top advisor in the White House. It's not okay. It really isn't.
So what happens when they do this? So, I mean, here's the thing, in the main, I agree with that idea, but what happens when they, or I should say, generally speaking, I mean, I get that, but they're going to confirm whoever they want to confirm for the most part, it seems to me.
Well, let's start with Bannon. You don't need Senate confirmation.
Right, and you don't need confirmation for Flynn.
For Flynn either, right. So there's nothing you can do there except for, my guess is, especially having won a majority of votes to begin with, a lot of people clearly agree with overall the Democrats' view on thankfully these days on racial issues and whatever.
Right.
You need to have a consistent damn message and be out there every weekend and on talk shows and every night and using everything at your disposal to just point out again and again how racist and how how extreme these people are. Maybe some people in the media that helped this jackass get elected because they figured Hillary would win anyhow will feel some remorse, if that's humanly possible, and cover these guys in the manner in which they should be, which is not normal.
Well, right, and I just don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I think, frankly, the opposite's going to happen.
Let me say one more thing, which is, when it comes to Sessions, no, I very much do believe he can be blocked. You've got, Jeff Flake and Dean Heller are up in 2018, and they have to run in increasingly diverse states.
Well, wait a second. Okay, so all right. So let me just, all right. So we can block some of these appointees, and then what happens once the appointees get settled in one way or another? I mean, then what is? And maybe there are some that can be blocked. Maybe Jeff Sessions can be blocked. Maybe not. I mean. I personally don't think that's going to happen, but maybe.
Well, if it doesn't happen, again, the problem is that we're always, to steal a phrase from an old favorite, Donald Rumsfeld, we're always going to war with the Democrats we have and not those we'd want. I'm not sure it can happen because I'm not. But my guess is that Heidi Heitkamp and John Tester,
right,
and
Joe Manchin.
Well, because they're up for it. So I'm just telling you what I believe we should do, not what I believe is actually going to happen.
But I just want to know. No, I know that. But either way, let's say Jeff Sessions is blocked, and I don't know, Rudy Giuliani or somebody who's not so. I mean, it's hard for me to imagine it's not going to be someone who's not equally or close to being as offensive, but somebody who's not as high profile offensive gets in there. Then what? I mean. What happens, it seems to me that Bernie Sanders, for instance, his statement, okay, which is we'll work with him on the things we agree with, but not on the things that we disagree, and those things that are, particularly that are targeted towards, that are racist or are xenophobic, et cetera, et cetera. So you try and stop Sessions, but where do you go from there? I mean, this is the dilemma that let me just lay my cards on the table a little more. That it seems to me that the other strategy, that the strategy they're following at this point, like I don't know what's in Bernie Sanders' mind or Chuck Schumer's for that matter, but by basically embracing things that they think that the Republicans around him, and maybe just in the Senate and the House, don't like, by embracing those things, just even if it's a bluff, it seems to me is a great way of, or not a great way, it's the only way to create obstruction in real time. Because look, the Republicans don't want to get rid of the filibuster. We've talked to, I think we mentioned this last week, because they want to use that.
Orrin Hatch already sort of nixed the idea?
Which was also predictable, at least in the short run, because they're running in 2018. They want to get a supermajority, and they want to use the Democrats to stop those things that they don't like about Donald Trump. And so the Democrats...
And also they want to put the Democrats in a position on unpopular things and then be able to blame them so they can...
Right. And so, I mean, I think the idea here is like, it's not the same dynamic with Obama, because the Democrats, and, maybe it was early on for like, maybe that's what Joe Lieberman was for some people, right? Like, he's our chum. He's our stopgap. We don't want this to happen. We'll just wait till Joe says no. And then we'll just all look and go, God darn it. He was with us on everything but the war. You know what I'm saying? Like, they want a fig leaf.
Well,
and so Democrats...
Well, the difference is that the Democrats, in which we talked about in real time as it was happening, refused to sort of stand up as a bloc and to message things in a way, in which they could have come pretty close. And my guess is, if they'd really want to, maybe could have gotten, well, not in the House.
Well, right, but I don't want to go over that again. What I'm talking about is...
But I'm saying that the difference here is that the Democrats had a chance to do that and didn't. The Republicans generally have been much better about this kind of stuff. But I think if you oppose them, perhaps the natural splits between Trump and Ryan. I mean, the thing is, everything you do with Trump is calculated, as I kept saying during the campaign, and it worked when they did it. It has to be calculated with the fact that he can't control himself. That has to be part of the plan, that that he's going to strike out and say stupid things, attack people on his own side. You need to get him to do that. And part of getting him to do that, so let's say you block one of his people and you get and you're able to get 2 or 3 Republicans to join you because they realize, Jeff Flake would be an example of someone who stood up to him the entire time, right? He never endorsed him, and he said a lot of very critical stuff during the campaign, and so Trump went off on Flake. Well, maybe you can get him to go off on him a little bit more, cause more splits. I think everything has to be with that in mind. So I guess what I'm saying here is, I understand what you're saying, that maybe there will be times where just everyone standing up to Trump and if it's the wrong moment and the wrong thing that helps unite him with the Republicans isn't the way to go. But I guess what I'm saying is the thing in mind should be that we are going to find a way to undermine him at every turn.
Well, no, I agree with that. We're just talking about tactics. We're just talking about tactics.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So it may be that publicly, right, strategically, the bigger strategy of undermining him involves tactically pretending to agree with him. What I'm saying is, I don't go into Republican presidencies the way they seem to go into Democratic ones, saying there's no legitimacy, let's just screw them from the moment. If Trump was somebody like Mitt Romney, I would say there may be some things that you can agree with him on, and this is the United States of America, and we're a democracy, and, as much as I can't stand right-wingers a lot of the time, if not all the time, you need to work with him. Well, Trump has proven himself bereft of any positive qualities whatsoever, and he's again putting up dangerous people, and so I think the reaction has to be, we'll talk about it, we'll do it, whatever we can do, but constantly it's to get him to lose his temper, to say stupid things, to knock down his approval rating, to undermine himself, to get him in fights with other Republicans. This has to be and it may be that you're adjusting tactics as time is going on to do that.
Hey, it's Sam Cedar. Why don't you subscribe to this channel? You can do so right over here. Over. Subscribe.